Hey guys, it's Eddie the Magic Monk here. Today I want to do a very simple lesson on where do shares come from. Right, this is one of the very common questions that people ask when they come across this concept of shares. Most people just look at it thinking, what are they? You can't see them. You can't touch them. It's a very abstract concept. So to give you a more concrete example, we're going to do a case study on a company. Okay, and let's choose a company that everybody knows in Australia called Telstra. If you're from overseas, Telstra is basically the biggest telecommunications company in Australia. So they install all the phone lines to everyone's houses, they connect everyone up to the internet, they sell you mobile phones, give you 4G and all that kind of stuff. Now, before 1997, didn't even realize I changed my pen color. Telstra was owned by the government. Telstra was 100% owned by the government. Okay, now we all know that the government is sometimes short of money. So what they do is they sell off some of their assets. So what happened is in 1997, to be exact, November 1997, alright, the government listed Telstra on the stock exchange, on the Australian Stock Exchange, I guess ASX. So once you list a company on the stock exchange, you can start selling off the ownership of the company in the form of shares. So the government listed the Telstra on the stock exchange and then sold 1/3 of its ownership in Telstra to the public. So what does that mean? That means you could have bought some shares. You could have owned a little bit of Telstra. So in 1997, the government ownership, actually let's do a little timeline. Okay, so in 1997, the government ownership went down to 67%. Okay, so before 1997 it was 100%. So gradually the government was selling their ownership of Telstra in the form of shares. So 1997 it only had 67% of Telstra remaining. And then in 1999 the government sold off even more ownership. So firstly they sold 33%, and then from 1997 to 1999 they sold another another 16%. So what do we have now? We have 51% remaining. So basically they just gradually sold their ownership. Okay, so 2006 sold another what do we sell? Anyway, in 2006 we only had 17% remaining and so on. So we just gradually sell off their ownership. So if you imagine a company, the ownership of a company as a circle. Okay, this circle represents a whole company. It doesn't matter what company it is. We're not going to use Telstra, just any sort of company. Now, when you list it on the stock exchange, the ownership is converted into shares. So let's say this company, we're going to allocate 30 million shares. Okay, and that's 100% of the ownership. Now, let's say you buy some shares of this company. Okay, you buy some shares. How much do you buy? Let's say you buy this much. This much. So what's that? Let's say you buy 100,000 shares. Actually, you probably don't have that much money as a kid. Let's say you just buy 5,000 shares. Sorry for assuming you're young, but anyway, so let's say you buy 5,000 shares. So what percentage of the company do you own? So you own what percentage of the company? And how you calculate that is you get how many shares you own, so 5,000 divided by how many shares there are in total for this company. 5,000 divided by 30 million, and that gives you a decimal number. But if you want to convert the decimal number to a percentage, you want to times it by 100, and then you'll get 0.017%. All right, 0.017% of the company. That's how much you own. This is rounded to 3DP. Rounded to 3 decimal places. So basically, that's a very simple explanation of what shares are. Just a part ownership of a company. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.